5.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Dailies today. Yes, we're live from our audiovisual studios on Etimi and Christian Victor Island, Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
Good morning, Lagos. You can watch us on Facebook and on YouTube because we're live right now. And let us know what you think. We've got the papers for you. If you like to watch, just search for Nigeria Info 99.3. We're going to start, let's pick up the Punch. Page 2 of the Punch. Minimum wage. FG offers over 60,000 naira. Labor may end strike.
Okay, so I think I've become a prophet of some sort, Sheriff. This nice drama that we're watching, I told you where it will all be headed. I'm suspecting something between 80, maximum 110. And all this, it is my belief. It is my belief. I'm not telling you as a matter of fact. It is my belief that there are so many things going on behind the scene between both Labour and federal government, so that by the time they get to a particular figure, it will become acceptable to the people. These same tactics have been used over and over again in the past struggle when some of us were ignorant and thought that, oh yeah, Labour is going to do this. Because I still maintain for the umpteenth time that you're chasing figures instead of chasing value. Okay, you're chasing figures instead of chasing value. If you could pin down a man like Atedo Peterside, economist Bismarck, and they'll tell you the honest to God truth. How to get to value is a difficult point. Okay, so you have, as we speak now, I mean, who can raise his hand and say that this is how much a senator of the Federal Republic is being paid? We hear all kinds of figures. I saw something like 32 million or whatever it is, cumulatively. The senator is driving a vehicle of 160 million. Okay? And so you hasn't it occurred to you that if you put up your minimum wage, almost in the same percentage, this is going to go up. What is causing inflation and distortions is the gap between, the wages that people earn. Okay, so if you're a judge in Lagos, automatically you own the house that you live in. What does the civil servant have? What does the professor have? What does the teacher have? What does the doctor have? So it's these distortions that are the biggest problem of all. The gap being far, far too wide. And also remember, whether you like it or not, you're going to factor in closeness to the cookie jar. So the real problem is not being solved. If you like, make the minimum wage 1 million. The figure just keeps going like that. The figure keeps going. And there are certain things that, if you are highly critical, and I want Sheriff to help me read out one paragraph in that statement, that during these negotiations, this issue came up. Sheriff, please read it for me.
Okay, so this paragraph reads, it's, by the way, this statement was signed by Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information, Honorable Nkiruka Njocha, the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Joe Ajero, President of NLC, and Festus Osifo of TUC. The paragraph that I'm going to read is the paragraph 3, item 3. Says Labour, in deference to the high esteem of the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria's commitment in one above, undertakes to convene a meeting of its organs immediately to consider this commitment. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, so I just want to highlight that part for you to know the issue of the president running in deference to him should not be. You should go there and negotiate. We have this thing, we have this habit of, oh, in respect for this and in respect for that. No. Yeah, it's not a fight. You're going there to claim your right. So if you as a labor man, you're signing a statement that says in deference to the president, when you should be deferring to your workers. Sheriff, let's move on to. I've made my feelings known about this. I think it's a drama it's a strike that could have been avoided. To be honest with you, because the strike itself was just to make a point. That is my belief. That is my belief. Just to make a point. If anybody on that, it was just to make a point, to make it look so that when you come to a final conclusion, it looks as if there was a fight. So if the interest of the president overrides that of the workers, what is the meaning of that? So in deference to the president instead of in deference to the workers. Second
base is from the Vanguard newspaper.
But let's talk about something. We've been through this drama over and over and over. It's the same pattern. We just wasted money yesterday. Anyway, go on. The strike will be called off today.
Would you say that the strike action, was a good statement yesterday?
It wasn't.
Was an effective statement?
It wasn't, because I believe very strongly. It's difficult to convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
That all this is just prearranged. It's the normal pattern to follow. Do you think that this government would not have a hand in electing an LSE president? Do you think this government, Nigeria as currently structured, government would allow somebody they cannot deal with to become Labour Congress president? It's impossible. Even the students' unions, all of them, we know how it goes down sometimes. That is my belief. I'm not stating it as a fact. That is where I stand. That all this, and at the end of the day, the interest of the worker is not fully recognized. Because if they give you 120,000 minimum wage, your landlord is waiting for. I got to dodgy before. We should be looking. What the NSC should be doing is fighting for value. 2-3 years ago, not now. The disparity in incomes is unimaginable. The gap between the have and the have-nots, because there's no rich and poor again, is so wide. No country can prosper like that. Where you're working class at the very end of the rung of the ladder, and with public funds. With public funds, you are fighting over 30,000, but you're ready to give 91 billion to those going on pilgrimage. Why do we deceive ourselves? I expected that the Labour Congress to say, okay, even if we increase it to so and so, we would like the following: transport subsidize this one, health, so many things that can be done. So many things that can be done to make life easier. Mass housing. Government always pays lip service to that. How do you think the United Kingdom has survived all these years? Mass housing. They call them council flats. Even those, for you to know how important it is for you not to have that disparity. Those who are not even employed are on benefits. They're on benefits. But look at what we are doing. So, a 160 million naira car bought with the funds of the federal government, carrying a senator, that guy is going to belong to him, is being driven by a 30,000 naira driver and a 50,000 naira oddly in front. And senator feels very cool at the back, Second base, Sheriff.
It's time for second base. Let's go pick up the Vanguard. Page 8 of the Vanguard has a story here. City of David RCCG, Iluyomade transferred, not suspended. Sources.
I beg my brothers to listen to this analysis with a very open and clear mind. Because I've noticed, especially when it comes to religion and things, it's so sensitive, you mustn't touch it. We will touch it because it touches our lives. So this development about Pastor Iluyomade, about the birthday and Wigwe, God rest his soul and son, and the lack of discretion in having such a flamboyant thingy. And I am glad that the Redeemed Church has reacted, albeit slightly late. I am glad that they reacted. They're making a clarification that he was not suspended, but transferred to a Butemeta to take care of the elders. I know how that works. If you want in newspaper world where I grew up, if you want to get rid of an editor, you promote him to managing editor. Give him one chair somewhere and one, in those days, messenger to run around to go and buy him puff and rice. Put a label on his door. So we know how that goes. Whether Pastor Luyomade will take, I will beg him, my advice to him, in the spirit, in the spirit of Christianity and the spirit of the Lord, take that appointment. It will put you in better stead in the future. Take that appointment. Maybe that appointment would bring you down 1 or 2 notches and prepare you for something greater. Don't reject it. Don't leave. When everybody is like the story of the lady who had a problem with this tomato something producer.
Okay, Chama.
That it needn't have gone that far if she had done the needful when she was told to retract whatever. It needn't have gone, but people were urging her on, and she's the one who's paying for it. I will tell Luyomade, you know that you committed an error. I'm talking to him and not his wife because he's the pastor. You know that you committed a lack of discretion in that sense. Take this appointment as your penance. But what this story also did yesterday is to open up my mind again, ironically, which I had decided to talk about on Saturday with Muyiwa Majekudumi. Muyiwa Majekudumi is one of the few open-minded, born-again Christians. And yes, I'm zeroing it down to Christianity because it's part of our lives. I'm not going to run away from it because it is religion, no. When we criticize, we don't condemn. We want to have a better society. The recent developments that are coming out from the Church of God are fearful, they are mind-boggling, and guess what? Could sink the whole of society. You remember I came to this studio last week. I was virtually in tears about some videos that I saw. Oh my God, it's been more revealing. A critical look about the way, the religion is being practiced in some of the areas. It calls for attention. And I am surprised that the leaders of CAN have not seen the necessity to zero in and save Christianity from the hands of certain people. We will discuss it. We will discuss it. We're going to talk about the state of the church on Saturday because it affects our lives directly. It's intertwined with politics, Sheriff. My famous phrase is that the country is some kind of conspiracy between the politicians, the civil servants, the elite, and I also add religious leaders of all religions. They are all complicit. When the government offered 94 billion to the pilgrims, why didn't the leaders say that, no, we can't use public funds for this? Because even the injunction that we are giving is if you can afford it. And I said here that anybody who uses public funds that should have been used to feed the people, uses it to go to Mecca, we will begin to talk about these things. We should talk about them and have no fear. Because at the end of the day, all I think most of us want is to live peacefully in our own country. That's what we want. Live peacefully amongst ourselves. Other people all over the world live amongst themselves peacefully as much as possible. Are we going to wait until we have the kind of crisis that they have in the Middle East before we know that, that we have a problem on our hands? So we'll talk about it on Saturday. I plead with Christian leaders, those of them who would I say have the calling. Because some of this, you need to go to the social media and see. And I don't believe the story that, is their enemies. No. Like they say, there is no smoke without fire. So please, religious leaders, live up. And if you say that it is in truth that it is God that has called you, and you call yourselves men of God, I wonder, aren't some of you fearful? So back to the story before I go on a different tangent entirely. My advice to Luyomade is take this position. Use it as penance. telling you, take it. After all, he's a human being that must take that position. So, do you understand what I'm saying? I know he's less glamorous, he's less so many things. You cannot take away his contribution to the city of David, like I've been told. You can't take it away. It's there in history for him. So, because apparently the whole idea is to see if he will move out of the church. And I'll tell him, stay there, at least for now.
I also heard about I don't know whether it's a rumor or something that, junior pastors at the city of David, they were also protesting that if anything should happen to Pastor Iliomade, that they too would.
It's understandable. The church, the city of David, in my mind, again, is my view. It only has that insignia, Redeemed Church of God. It's Iliyomade's church. He started it from scratch. And you can't take away the contribution he has made there. I'm not trying to say that he shouldn't be punished. He should be. And I'm glad. In fact, this should have been done immediately it happened. But everybody always has a falling point. Everybody has a falling point, and his lack of discretion in this one. That's why I say he should take it. I am hoping that if he takes it, in a year or two, he might be back there. It also helps to bring him down 1 or 2 notches. It helps to bring him down the reality that this place doesn't belong to you. People have had such challenges before. Itwa had, Rapu, all of them had, and they moved on. Iliomade cannot move on at 67. I don't advise that he does that, at least not now.
Not now.
I don't want him to live in anger. He should go to where he's posted. Yes, he should go there to show that he's a good Christian. And I think there are enough examples in the Bible to guide him in such a manner to say, you go to where you are not expected to go. Who knows what is lying in wait for him? But it also exposes the politics and whatever in the church that is coming to the fore and all the shenanigans that are happening at the back end. Sheriff, it is frightening. You saw one of the videos. It is frightening how people suffer because some pastors are charlatans, to put it bluntly. If it weren't for the issue of libel and so on and so forth, we will begin to call them out. Because for some, it's quite open. Some even tell you stories, for God's sake. When you start telling people, it's a lot of manipulation. That you had food in your house, you gave it out. When you came back, your store was full. I didn't have money. I didn't have money. When I gave all 1 million to God. Where is God's bank? Where is the bank account? And overnight, some of these stories, I wonder how people believe them. I hope there's no mass hypnosis involved in all this. You hear the most bizarre of stories. I know that they are miracles, but for God's sake. And guess what? Benny Hinn has made a big confession now.
Yes, I saw the video too.
Benny Hinn has made a confession. That's a lot of manipulation. There's one that has wheelchair. His own is to heal people in wheelchairs or whatever. Somebody, of course, there are people who can investigate. They discovered that all the 10 wheelchairs were probably bought from the same place. And he said he didn't know them. And let's stop this. I suspect that there's some mass hypnosis in all this. I suspect very strongly. But we will look at this issue and we'll keep discussing it because we need to salvage our people from all this. We need to. At a time when you expect, our pastors to stand up, some of them will say, "God has not spoken to me yet," to guide the flock in making a right decision. See where it has ended now. See where it has ended.
Let's go to the Metro page of the Punch and the City and Crime page of the Trusts.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
Very quickly, so what do you have? Friends, family, US-based Nigerian lady killed by Metro bus. Imo University is being probed over fake admissions. What else? There's a rumor that some bandits want to attack Federal Capital Territory and security has been beefed up. What else again on the Lagos State? Judiciary workers shot Lagos courts. That's yesterday. Council chair empowers 400 traders with 20 million. Let's quickly go to that. Doesn't seem to be more news. In the trust, protesters block University Road over fresh attack on Benue University. Pharmacists tortured to death as they escape from bandits and so on and so forth. It's all crime. And it still says that Lagos State is hell-bent on building a fourth mainland bridge.
Indeed. Now let's go to our Tuesday's favorite page, Healthwise Plus.
Okay, listen very well. Thank God we still have time. Listen very, very well. Water from, is it Benin or Benin? Let me be very careful. Okay, water from Benin. Border agency rescues Ogun communities after Punch Healthwise report. Watch the water that you drink, essentially. Pediatricians tell students about immunization as unvaccinated children hit 2.2 million. Physicians demand vaccination review to eradicate rabies. You know what rabies is? The one that usually manifests in dogs, and they call it Dibolugi. When the dog. Dibolugi.
That's a long time ago.
Developing safe, affordable vaccine game changer to HIV. And in 2024, sickle cell patients still face discrimination and exclusion. That is very, very true. Oh, by the way, congrats to the MD of Zenith Bank. She resumes work today.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
resumes work today.
Okay.
No, she resumed yesterday. Sorry,
Monday. Okay,
Monday. Yes.
All right. So let's go to this story in the Vanguard newspaper, page 15. It reads: Yoruba monarchs must embrace traditional worship or face sanction. Oh, wow.
We shouldn't run away from these things. The Sheshe worshippers have said that the Yoruba monarchs, you either embrace traditional worship, I don't know about facing sanctions, but I think it stands to reason. Because a monarch in Yoruba land, I repeat again, an Oba, is the custodian of traditional practices and religion. Pure, and that's the job description. So if you are not ready to embrace traditional worship, leave the place for those who want to do it. I don't know why we always bend rules for persons. I'm a very strong advocate of give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. For the record, by my own choice as a full-grown adult, I'm a Christian. I did confirmation, I did everything when I was in my 40s. So as a full-grown adult, I wasn't born into it. I was born into Islam. God directed me to Christianity. But I'm very clear-minded. Absolutely. Very, very clear-minded. And so I like this argument. And it says the president of the International Council for Ifa, Dr. Fayemi Fakayode, yesterday insists that governments and traditional rulers in Yoruba land must practice traditional religion or face sanctions. I don't know from who. It says, I, on behalf of Arabagbaya and all Ifa devotees worldwide, implore Odua traditional rulers to respect the basis of their crowns. The sad part about it all is that in this side of town that I'm familiar with, that institution is seriously threatened. Seriously threatened. You have Obas everywhere now. Yeah, the politicians have, because of political control. In Lagos, it's particularly bad. It's particularly bad. And I hope that those who are doing this for power realize that whether you like it or not, tradition has a way of bouncing back. I'm thinking in Yoruba now because talking traditional, so they will be held responsible at some point. Appointing people who do not fit, who are not round pegs in the round holes, who do not fit into what normally should be done, it has consequences. And that's why the whole town is in confusion. It's the politicians. And if you tell them the truth, and guess what is happening now? As soon as they find somebody who is telling them the truth like that, is now war against him. I'm a recipient. Our people must learn to listen to the truth. And only the truth will set them free. If you are not ready to embrace that, you can worship privately. You can go to church on Sunday, you can do whatever. But what our forefathers left for us cannot and must not be touched. Period. in official capacities. In your privacy of your home, you're absolutely free. And then at the end of the day, I just remember Majek Fashek of blessed memory. Did you listen to any of his music?
I do, of course.
You
Yes.
like all this Davido and all this music?
Me. I'm not Badi now.
I'm not bad.
I'm not Badi. You see, you don't even know that one.
I don't know Badi. I listen to music where the lyrics will send you, It's the kind of music played today. I told Lobito one day, he was here, he said it's the new genre. I said, fair enough. But for me, music must always set me thinking. Either rebel music in Fela or Bob Marley, or Kete Kete in Obe. You know the story of Kete Kete?
Yes, of course.
Let's go.
We have
see
to
you
go.
at 9.
We must
I'll
go.
see you at 9.
He's back at 9.
Yes.
I'm Sheriff. He's Jimmy. We'll hand you back to Kofi Bartels now for the continuation of the Morning Crossfire. Thank you all for being a part of Daily Digest this morning. Stay here, please.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.